Have you ever wondered the impact of music on your life and what might happen if you stopped listening to it? This might seem like an odd question. After all, music is an integral part of our lives, isn't it? But what if I told you that someone decided to challenge this norm, to question this universal love for rhythm and melody? Let's delve into the journey of a particular individual who dared to unplug from the sound. This author, a music lover at heart, took the bold step of eliminating music from his life. You may ask, why would someone do this? What could possibly drive a person to cut off something so universally cherished? The reasons were manifold but stemmed from a desire to change and grow. The author was determined to create a significant shift in his life, to transform his routine, and to challenge his comfort zones. He was convinced that to achieve extraordinary results, one needs to take extraordinary steps. And so he decided to embark on this audacious journey of silence. But it wasn't easy. Imagine being a traveler and suddenly losing your compass. That's how it felt initially. The absence of music, which had been a constant companion, felt like a void. A void that was both daunting and challenging. But why go through all this trouble, you may ask? Well, this author had grand ambitions. He aspired to become the youngest best-selling author in the self-help category, a field that is as competitive as it is transformative. He also harbored dreams of creating a groundbreaking company, much like the trailblazers of our time, such as Airbnb or Uber. In his quest for these lofty goals, the author believed that he needed to eliminate distractions, to focus his energies, to harness his potential. Music, as beautiful as it is, was perceived as a diversion, a melodious distraction that he chose to let go of. Stay tuned to learn how this drastic change affected the author's life and productivity. How does one cope with the sudden silence after a lifetime filled with music? This is the question that set our author on a journey of self-discovery that would transform his life in ways he could never have anticipated. Imagine the first few days of this experiment. The pulsing rhythm of music, once a constant companion, had vanished, leaving in its wake an unsettling void. This was no ordinary silence. It was a silence that echoed, a silence that seemed to amplify the absence of sound. It was accompanied by feelings of emptiness, a profound sense of loss that was hard to put into words. There was boredom, too, a restlessness that gnawed at the edges of his consciousness. Time, without the familiar cadence of music, seemed to stretch and warp, turning minutes into hours, hours into eternities. And then there was anxiety, a low hum of unease that seemed to grow louder with each passing day. But amidst this maelstrom of emotions, something extraordinary began to happen. The author started to become aware of sounds that had previously gone unnoticed. The tick-tock of a wall clock, no longer drowned out by the latest hits, morphed into a comforting heartbeat of sorts, marking the passage of time in its unerring, unhurried rhythm. The rustling of leaves, the whispering of the wind, the distant hum of traffic. These were the symphonies of everyday life that had remained hidden beneath the pervasive layer of music. This newfound awareness was not an overnight transformation, but a gradual shift, like the slow unfurling of a bud into a flower. The silence, initially a source of discomfort, slowly began to reveal its subtle beauty. It became a canvas upon which the smaller, quieter sounds of life could paint their own unique compositions. So how does one cope with the sudden silence after a lifetime filled with music? The journey is not easy, but it is one that can lead to a deeper appreciation of the world around us, a world that is teeming with sounds waiting to be discovered. Let's delve into the transformation that followed this initial storm of silence. Can silence lead to a transformation? You might be surprised. As our journey into the quiet deepens, the unexpected starts to unfold. The author began to notice some profound changes. You see, silence didn't just mute the noise around him, it amplified the voice within him. His focus sharpened, like a lens adjusting to capture the perfect shot. He found himself less distracted by the cacophony of the outside world, more attuned to the symphony of his thoughts. The chaos of swirling melodies was replaced by the rhythm of his own heartbeat. Each beat, a reminder of his existence, of his presence in his own life. His mind, once a stormy sea of lyrics and tunes, became a tranquil lake, clear and serene. Ideas that used to get lost in the noise now had space to float to the surface. Thoughts formed more easily, solutions appeared more readily, and creativity seemed to flow more freely. The constant background score was replaced by the sound of his own thoughts, and his mind was loving the solo. Presence, that elusive state of being wholly in the moment, became his new norm. The music that once filled the gaps of his day was replaced by the sounds of life itself. The hum of the city, the rustle of leaves, the laughter of a child, every sound became a melody in the symphony of life. He was no longer living in a world curated by someone else's playlist. He was present, fully engaged in the unique symphony of his own existence. This transformation was not just about personal growth, it was about progress. His newfound focus and clarity became the driving forces propelling him towards his goals. He was no longer dreaming of becoming the youngest best-selling author in the self-help category, or creating a groundbreaking company. He was making it happen. The silence had become his muse, his mentor, his motivator. But what does this mean for you, the viewer? So, should you stop listening to music too? Well, that's not a question I can answer for you. You see, there's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to personal growth and productivity. Every individual's relationship with music is as unique as their fingerprint. Some people might find that a little less Beethoven or Beyoncé in their life could free up mental space, allowing for increased focus and productivity. On the other hand, for some, music could be the catalyst that sparks creativity and drives them to reach their goals. So it's not about abruptly silencing the symphony of your life, but rather, it's about reflecting on your own habits. Consider your relationship with music. Does it inspire you or does it distract you? Could there be changes you could make to improve your focus and productivity? In the end, the goal isn't to eliminate music or anything else for that matter from your life. It's about understanding your needs, your habits, and your distractions. It's about finding what works best for you. So take a moment, reflect on your own relationship with music, and decide for yourself. Remember, it's not about the music, but about finding what works best for you.